Gamers and gentlefolk, hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm excited to be taking a look at some replay broadcasts today. First and foremost, we'll be starting with Division B West. This is a match from way back, August 15th, in Week 2 between Psistorm Probes and Roll1Esports in a best-of-3 series, and I do not know the results. Shout out to RavenX for solving my goof in downloading the replays. So I still don't know who wins this series. Don't spoil it in chat if you do know. And a little bit of background on these two teams. Roll1Esports is actually one of our longest running, oldest NGS teams, dating back to at least Season 7. That's as far back as the hero profile has info on them. We've also got Psistorm Probes. They are back after a single season's hiatus for Season 17. Mongoose chiming in chat, mentioning that they don't even know what happened this series. It was long enough ago. That's fun. We'll take that. Let's take a look at the current division standings to see where our two teams stand. Okay. Very competitive. 17 and 16 points apiece. Of course, I don't know how they were looking way back in Week 2, but we know this far into the season that they seem to be relatively evenly matched as far as team strength is concerned. Let's take a look at our battleground selection here. We have map bans from Roll1Esports on Brax's Holdout and Volskaya Foundry, with Psistorm Probes banning out Cursed Hollow and Towers of Doom. As this is a replay broadcast, I don't know who picked the battleground and I don't know how the draft went, but that doesn't mean that we can't enjoy some good old HOTS action here on Dragonshire for Game 1. So enough with my yakking. Let's get into Game 1. And we can introduce our teams here on the left in blue. We've got Psistorm Probes, Valeria on Zagara, the Red Rook on Johanna, Conflicted playing Rhaegar, Stormsword on Blaze, and Ron on Vala. To the right in red, we've got Roll1Esports, Rock Your World on Anubarak, Poe on Junkrat, Mongoose playing Nova, Wanaba on Stukov, and Zad playing Sonya. Checking in on our level 1 talents as we get in here. So we do have Ron looking for Creed of the Hunter stacks, opting for auto attack quest at level 1. Rock Your World scouted on the bot side of the triangle bush here. And that's buying a lot of room for Psistorm Probes to step up and start this wave clear. So they will get the first clear advantage there. Poe over the wall with the concussion mine. Thinking a little bit about these drafts, I like the vision control that the Zagara brings. Poe on Junkrat will have a fair bit themselves. Checking in on top lane, missed the attempted gank. It was a 4-hero commitment onto Stormsword, but Blaze was able to survive it. Roll1 doing a pretty typical 1-3-1 approach. Oh my gosh, and Poe gets the boop over the wall. First blood going over to Roll1. Sieging into a Junkrat can be deadly, and that'll do it. Very well played from Poe there. And that is kind of the advantage that a 1-3-1 setup can give you. You're allowed to pressure the off lane as they were, and also with something like Junkrat to defend bot lane. Psistorm probes aren't going to get as much done as perhaps they would have liked. Level 4 talents just around the corner here for our two teams. Rook scouting the bot bruiser camp, making sure that Roll1 wasn't doing anything cheeky. We've got Mongoose and Zad putting additional pressure onto Stormsword here in top lane. That's going to draw the Hearth from Blaze. Probes have done a fair job getting a lot of siege damage here on the bot lane. Front wall almost down completely as our fours come in here. See if there's anything out of the ordinary. We've got Underking from Rock the World, increasing the burrow charge range. The Lyra has opted for Serrated Spines at level 4, trying to get their own auto attack stacking. And of course, we've got Red Rook grabbing Subdue. And it's Bribe for Mongoose on the, what is that, Covert Ops, I believe? Covert Mission. On the Nova. So we'll have to keep an eye out for where Mongoose is headed with those bribe charges. First double channel with someone in mid goes over to Psistorm probes, but Stormsword gets caught out by Rock and Mongoose. Stormsword's going to be able to make it to safety, and on the top side, Zad secures the shrine. Poe trying to put pressure on this bottom shrine. They're getting chased down by Rook and conflicted a bit here. They're able to concussion mine themselves to safety. So a little bit of a mercenary push advantage for probes here in the early game. We now have Roll1 getting onto both of their camps, cruisers and siege respectively, which is giving Ron and Red Rook all the more opportunity to get the rest of bottom wall down. Mongoose up here to threaten Stormsword once again. Blaze definitely a lot more respectful of the missing vision now that they've been ganked 2 or 3 times. Rook pops their trait early. No longer unstoppable. Wanaba will go down. Ron able to land those auto attacks and punch through the HP pool of Stukov. Not opting for biotic armor at level 4 is a bit of a surprise into such a auto attack heavy team like Creed of the Hunter Vala and Serrated Spines Zagara. And we have a slight experience advantage. Oh, Rock burrows into 3. I'm sorry, a total of 4. A bit of a miscue there. The rest of Roll1 not really in range to follow up that engagement. And that will give them the opportunity to grab this cruiser camp. Small little build-a-boss here as they pick up their heroic talents. It's going to be Blessed Shield, Ancestral Healing, Bunker Drop, Rain of Vengeance, and Devouring Maw. Poe is here for the defense. Here comes Rock in on the backside. Onto Ron there. Mongoose is there with the follow-up. A Cleanse and Ancestral will get the Vala out of danger. Poe now in threat. Hit with the Subdue here. Rock likely to fall, but they get the burrow charge out. All the while, this fort has been taking a lot of punishment from the Siege Giants. And this first structure likely to go down here before the 10-minute mark. So a pretty quick structure grab here on Dragonshire. Stormsword will pick up the first objective as well. And Psistorm probes are off to a fantastic start. Roll1Esports has collected their own heroics. We've got Cocoon, Rock, once again, in the middle of all of Psistorm probes, caught outnumbered yet again. I was going over heroics for Roll1. It's Cocoon, Riptire, Precision Strike, Flailing Swipes, and Leap, the typical pick for a slam build Sonya, which is what we have Zad going for at 1 and 4. Dragon Knight coming up to the top lane to join Belira, try and get as much damage on this top wall as they can, but the DK is going to expire here. This might be the opportunity that Roll1 needs to get back into it. Zad scouted here. Rock finding the rest of Psistorm probes here, but the Impale does not connect. Poe pulling the Riptire. They'll secure the top tower there. So after the first objective phase, a pretty strong advantage here for Psistorm probes on the map. They've secured the first structure, the first two in fact. Storm Sword gets ganked once again, and this time it'll net a takedown. Psistorm probes, understanding that their offlaner is under threat, get as much done in bot lane as they can, stealing away the siege camp. I heard a precision strike go off, but I don't know where it was. Mongoose maybe using it for scouting or wave clear somewhere else on the map. So top lane definitely in a winning position for Roll1 at this point, but mid and bot missing a fort for them means that Psistorm probes will continue to apply passive pressure thanks to their periodic catapults in those lanes. Level 13s on both sides, burning beetles, continuing with the trap build with gotta trap them all. Storm Sword once again, blows the bunker here. That jet propulsion into Zad will likely seal their fate, especially with the rest of Roll1 making the rotation. Of course, once again, their heavy commitment to top lane. Ron over the wall here. That's a lot of damage, but the Ancestral Healing is enough to save the Vala player. Already up to 90 stacks of their auto attack. Every 50 auto attacks, they get 1% more damage on their Hatred auto attack bonus. So bottom keep has taken a little bit of damage. Probes were able to trade that for their top fort. We've got Storm Sword showing in top lane and Zad showing in mid. Red Rook potentially looking for the next pick here. Finding Mongoose, this is the real one and they know it. There's the Blessed Shield and that's going to be a quick takedown. Rocky World burrow charges in onto 3. There's the Cocoon as well, but a great maul from Valera will save their bacon. Ron continuing to pepper in these auto attacks as they unlock a second stack of their Created the Hunter quest of 1. Storm Sword has controlled the Sun Shrine. Red Rook now onto the Moon Shrine here. This is going to be another opportunity for Psistorm probes to grab the Dragon Knight, but Poe is in range. Junkrat, a fantastic hero for the objective stall. I really like the vision control that Psistorm probes are doing with their front line. Red Rook doing a fantastic job scouting for the team, holding the correct bushes, and zoning these rotations. Down a talent tier, we'll see if Roll1 want to contest this siege camp. They're looking a little scared. Rook has the Blessed Shield available once again. Storm Sword able to avoid the leap there, and Roll1 capped the objective. So the siege camp, in the end, going over to the red team. They committed a couple heroics for that, trading those for the bunker. We'll see if level 16 is going to be enough for probes to apply additional pressure to this bottom keep, down to about half HP at present. Level 16s are a pretty big power spike for a handful of our heroes. Ron unlocking Manticore, percent damage, corrosive saliva for the Zagara. So Valeera and Ron are going to apply lots and lots and lots more pressure to Rock Your World here on the Anubarak. A double stun. Valeera falling low. There's the Ancestral Healing. Fantastic play from Conflicted thus far on the Rhaegar. Really well done. These Purges and Ancestrals from Conflicted really stymieing the decisive engages coming out of Roll1Esports. Mongoose is able to flip the Moon Shrine as Storm Sword flips the Sun Shrine up top. And this slow creep towards 20 definitely favoring Psistorm probes here. It's a 5v4 commitment. The leap finally connects and finds Valeera. That is the sort of CC chain that Roll1 has been trying to put together for most of the game here. They do a fantastic job. And that gives them power play. Rock Your World not connecting with the burrow charge here. I will say, Roll1, in spite of their ability to clean up these takedowns, they do not have the best draft for generating siege damage. Neither Junkrat nor Nova hits buildings particularly hard. Rook able to get out with the trait usage. Ron falling low. There's the cocoon onto Conflicted. Ancestral Healing will be back up shortly here. Rook doing some fantastic body blocking with Storm Sword's oil slick, keeping Roll1 locked in place there. Ron zoned out by Mongoose's Precision Strike. And Zad has to keep up here in top lane, cleaning up that camp. Storm Sword had pushed out that Bruiser camp a while ago. And we're just a level away from the Storm talent tier for Psistorm probes. We've got Valeera capping the top objective. We've got Poe and friends ready for the stalls here in mid, but Rock Your World still about 5 seconds from the respawn here. Conflicted no longer has Junkrat stuff to interfere with them. Of course, having your healer in the Dragon Knight can be a tricky position. Ron, in particular, going to be a target for Roll1 now that they don't have a cleanse available to them. And there's Rock immediately onto the Vala player. Ron immediately blows up. There's the leap from Zad onto Valeera here. They're able to chase with their move speed, and that will be a quick 2-kill cleanup. Conflicted is going to finish off this bottom keep and get a little bit of damage here on the mid keep as well. But we can expect another takedown cleaned up by Roll1 after this Dragon Knight goes down. Alrighty. That'll be enough to even up the talent tier as well. Storm talents on both sides. What do we have? We've got Pack Instincts for Valeera, Radiating Faith for Rook on the Johanna, Farseer's Blessing. There's the, bribe from Mongoose. That will certainly help them take down this fort. Checking in on mid lane, we do have a catapult building up there. Zad likely going to clean that up as soon as the bot siege camp is pushed out. We've also got Fortified Bunker and Farflight Quiver. That all makes a lot of sense. And on the other side, it's Rewind, Extra Oomph, Precision Strike upgrade, which is called Precision Barrage, naturally. What is that? Top off for Wanuba, and Ariat's Crater for Zad. Alright, so structural advantage still in favor of Psistorm probes. But Zad gets the Ariat's Crater. There's the Precision Barrage to follow up. Oh my gosh, blocking the Cocoon with the trait from Joe. Incredible play from Red Rook there. Getting that Cocoon onto Johanna probably could have sealed up another kill for Roll1. And they're going to go the hard way through this. Oh my gosh, Stukov cut off from the rest of the squad. Split 4-1, top and bot. An interesting rotation through the mid fort, I guess, to apply pressure to the top lane here. The Bridge of Death, not the typical goal for a team, but I guess they just wanted to get someone in range. Oh, Zad is going to get chased down here. They were able to leap a short distance, but not far enough. Rock will secure the Dragon Knight, so Zad's death does yield an objective. And at 18 minutes, this Dragon Knight is hitting pretty darn hard. This mid fort probably going to go down here, even with Ron in range. And Ron doing a great job to bait the kick without actually getting kicked, dancing just outside the range of the DK, and that allows the auto attack Vala with Farflight Quiver and lots and lots of damage from Manticore to just destroy this DK, not even getting a fort off of this late game objective. So a bit of a stalemate for the red team with Zad going down before the DK capture. Stormsword will finish cleaning up this top lane. I have to assume that we've had a handful of precision strikes going onto those top waves to continue putting pressure on that top lane. If the keep goes down, it will be a potential win condition for Roll1, though it is probably the hardest lane to end in. Rook scouts all of Roll1 here, continuing to be diligent with their trait. They have to pop it here. The silence, oh my gosh, there's the Ancestral Healing with the Farseer's Blessing. Rook still alive, two caught in the cocoon here. Rook getting so much healing from their level 16 Holy Renewal, and they make it out. So between the healing from Farseer's Blessing and Holy Renewal, what looked like a sure kill onto that Johanna does not net anything for Roll1. That was a excellent bit of play from Psistorm probes to get their tank out of danger. And these are not disorganized engages from Roll1 by any stretch of the imagination. Unfortunately for them, Conflicted has been doing a fantastic job playing out of vision, making sure that they are not the cocoon target when the fight breaks out. So they have been able to purge and Ancestral as needed. Psistorm probes will clean up this bruiser camp in bot lane, with Roll1 once again focusing more of their efforts towards the top lane, getting their bruiser camp out and taking care to clean up the rest of probes' bruiser camp as well. Ron trying to bait Roll1 here in mid lane, vaulting around like any auto attack Vala is wont to do. There's the stun with the rewind. Oh my god, immediately blows up. Conflicted did not have a chance to purge. Caught two with the Maw. Rock able to get the cocoon onto the Rhaegar this time round. Big silence here for the Stukov. Rook taking a lot of damage Both shrines have spawned, so we've got Zad breaking off to the top lane and Mongoose there in bot. So this is going to be another objective capture, this time the power play in favor for Roll1Esports. And they're keeping in this game despite a rough early going of it. Bot lane in a little bit of danger for them. They've got three catapults mounting up there. And it looks like the DK is going to try and finish off the mid fort. The corrosive saliva on all of these roachlings. Oh my gosh, Zad does not connect with the crater, but the sun is enough. Valera will go down, squashing the Zagara right as Ron respawns on the Vala. Ancestral healing goes off, and so the rest of Psistorm probes will make it to safety. No one cleaned up those catapults on bot lane, so there are still 2 catapults. Oh, but it doesn't matter. Ron, the target. The damage a little late to follow up the CC. Rock taking so much punishment from Ron on the Vala here. So the late game Dragon Knight was able to net mid-fort, but not much else. A little bit of damage there on the mid-fort, or mid-keep wall. But the catapult pressure in bot definitely continuing to be a thorn in Roll1's side as we get later and later in the game. We are definitely approaching Winion territory here at the 23-minute mark. Zad a bit far out, given the rest of Roll1's positioning. But they're going to make it to safety just fine. And this is really where the tension starts to build in these late game fights. It's all about vision control at this point. And having Zagara creep definitely helps a lot on that front. One of the few true wards in Heroes of the Storm. Rock unable to find that creep tumor with their burning beetles. We've got Zad and Mongoose showing here in bot lane, with Psistorm probes focusing their efforts on top fort. We'll see if they hearth now that they have scouted Roll1 on this bot keep. It's going to be too late, I think. Siege Anubarak goes burr, after all. And these beetles, paired with all of this auto attack damage from the rest of the team, will secure bot keep. So structural parity in bot lane, that's going to help Roll1 a lot in the late game. They're probably going to lose their top fort, which will bring structural parity to Psistorm probes in the top lane. So we're kind of neck and neck now. Lane pressure is in favor of the probes in top lane, with their Bruiser camp still rolling. And that's going to draw Roll1 up to the top lane, giving probes the opportunity to once again get these bot lane mercenaries going. This time, the spell armor from the Bruiser camp might be the difference maker they need to shore up this push towards core. Neither team concerned with Sunshrine. Rook doing a fantastic job scouting that bush and finding most of Roll1 in it. Roll1 has been most successful when they've been able to find either Ron or Valera with the Ariat's Crater from Zad. But with Zad showing in top lane, Psistorm probes likely feel very safe here. Rook able to draw the burrow charge from Rock. Johanna charging at you, post 20, very scary. Alrighty. More mercs to the side of Psistorm probes. Of course, this top lane is an issue with the Bruiser camp rolling. Rock Your World has secured vision here for the rest of Roll1. Zad showing on the wave as Storm Sword picks up the Sun Shrine. Both teams doing a great job ring around the Rosy Ying, which is definitely not a word. Mid lane is pretty strongly in favor of... Okay, there's a dismount from Red Rook. These two catapults are a bit of an issue for Roll1 as we approach the 27th minute here of Game 1. Alright. We trade more shrines. We rotate more safely. Everything works. Red Rook continuing to get dismounts through mid, just controlling this area of vision around the objective has been hugely beneficial. Psistorm probes have continued to take aggressive rotations thanks to that vision control. Rook looking for the double stun here onto Poe and Zad. Blessed Shield does not connect, however. And now it's a split engagement. Lots of damage onto Storm Sword here. They're going to pop the bunker, and that will save them. Oh, the self-root from the shove will put Stukov in danger. They're trading for Zagara here. Zad likely to fall again. So 2 for 1 in the engagement, favoring Psistorm probes. They've got an auto attack Vala with 200 and almost 250 stacks late in the game. I'm pretty sure she can outrange this core, and she still has a lot of auto attack damage here. Roll1 doing a great job focusing the Vala, and they'll make the defense, I think. That was an important takedown. Conflicted Storm Sword and Red Rook do have a little bit of siege damage between the three of them, but with no DPS heroes available, I think Psistorm probes are likely just going to back out here. Mongoose 1 second away from their next charge of Precision Strike. But Roll1 is going to play it relatively safely while they wait for the Stukov respawn. These late game fights are truly on a knife's edge. Mongoose getting the bribe on the siege camp here in bot. That's going to give them an opportunity for another one sooner than otherwise you'd expect. Storm Sword picking up the top bruiser camp. And Mongoose and Poe are going to pick up this next siege camp as well. So double siege camp for bot lane as Conflicted picks up the shrine on top side. Vala still 5 seconds away from respawning, and this game is tense, I tell you. Another trade on shrines with Red Rook on bottom and Rock Your World on top. The maw onto the swiping Stukov was such a smart move. Stukov, of course, is rooted in place as long as he's swiping, so really heads-up play from Valera to punish that Stukov's forward positioning. Of course, Zad also in that engagement, turning it around with the leap onto Valera. It's a lot of damage onto the Zagara, especially with Giant Slammer at level 16 for Sonya. Some percent damage of her own. Another safe rotation to bot lane for Roll1 gets the bruiser camp in their favor. Mid lane also... oh, Rook face checks the bush. Surprising. And so the bottom mercenaries stacking up is definitely going to be in Roll1's favor. This is probably the best opportunity they have to secure this game, especially with Psistorm probes just camped around this DK capture point. And it's a full 3 objective. Oh my gosh, Valera! How did they find that Zagara? Leapt immediately by Zad. They're falling very low. Storm Sword gets the charge, but Ron will fall. Conflicted now, in a lot of danger. They just now get the Ancestral, but it's going to get interrupted again. I'm not sure how that vision happened, but Roll1 capitalized on it phenomenally, getting 3 quick takedowns. Mongoose, Poe following up with all the damage they can. With 2 Siege Giants and a Bruiser Camp, I don't think Psistorm Probes are going to be able to hold on to this one any longer. Force starts to fall here with the shielding already down. Johanna blinding as much as she can, but it's going to be all she wrote for Game 1. GG and well played to both of our teams. Wow, wow, wow. What a game. 32 minutes for Game 1. And Roll1Esports able to clutch it in the end. I was surprised, certainly, to see... Nope, not picked. Won by red. There we go. I was surprised to see it go so late, especially with how well probes were controlling the rotations in the early game. But a big props to Roll1Esports. They kept their heads in the game and were able to weather the storm. Let's take a look at our post-game stats here. Whoop. Red team has won, but what about the stats? Ron on Vala, almost top of the charts for damage. Poe able to squeak out with almost 69k damage. Storm Sword on Blaze, able to top the lobby for experience, contributed at 33k. Where's the Johanna damage? Up to 57k. So more damage from Johanna than from Zagara, because Johanna is fair and balanced. And also it's due in large part to the build that we see from Red Rook. The pairing of Zealous Glare at 1, Blessed Hammers at 13, and Holy Renewal at 16 gives Johanna lots and lots of opportunities to pepper the enemy team with damage. Any other surprising talents here? Nothing too out of the ordinary. I don't know anything about Nova builds, but I'm going to assume Mongoose built correctly. And Ron was able to stack up 256 auto attacks. So a lot of value out of that Gambit talent at level 1. Unfortunately, it was not enough to clutch the game in the end. All right, let's head back over to our Battleground selection and see where we're headed for Game 2. All right, let this replay load up and update. Here we're headed to Tomb of the Spider Queen for Game 2. Once again, I do not have any of the pick data, so unfortunately we don't know whose map selection it is, but given the rotational play that we saw in the first game, I think both teams are going to perform quite well on Tomb. They both respect the vision that their teams are controlling. Both had great focus on wave clear. While I've been chatting away, a bunch of you have done all sorts of fun things, like following and rating, so thank you for the follow, Rock Your World, and Mongoose, I believe. And thanks for the raid, Ravenex. Appreciate it. Game 2. See how we're doing on loading. Almost there. Excellent. So let's get into Game 2 here. And we'll see if Psistorm probes are going to be able to send it to a Game 3. Introducing them once again, we've got Velira on Zul'jin, the Red Rook on Johanna, Conflicted playing Tassadar, Stormsword on Blaze, and Ron playing Brightwing. So a little bit of a role swap here, or game 2. On the right in red, we've got Roll1Esports, Rock Your World on ETC, Zad on Dahaka, Wanaba on Stukov, Poe on Kael'thas, and Mongoose playing Cassia. Taking a look at our level 1 talents. Quests abound for Roll1Esports. We've got Prog Rock, Enhanced Agility, Mana Addict, and Thunderstroke for Cassia. So everybody's looking for globes. Everybody's looking for safety, speed. And none of the probes are interested in scaling with a quest. I love what Roll1 are doing into this Zul'jin comp. Just avoiding the troll at all costs. 0 stacks for Zul'jin thus far. There's the stun onto the Johanna. Immediately draws the phase shift from Ron. And Velira, with Recklessness, was able to put together at least the first 5 counts of You Want Axe. Up to 2 total stacks on their baseline quest. Checking in on bot lane, Zad and Stormsword are dueling over this siege camp. Looks like the rotation from Psistorm probes is a little bit faster, and Velira will get Zad to back off a bit. It's a 4-hero commitment for Roll1, but a full 5-hero commitment for Psistorm probes. So they're likely to secure this next camp, but they are missing out on waves in mid and top. We'll see if this camp gets enough value to be worth the dropped experience. Speaking of, where are we at? Yeah, almost 600 XP in advantage for Roll1, with Poe continuing to soak there. And Zad has done a fantastic job cleaning up this camp with the assistance of the rest of Roll1. So no real advantage there for Psistorm probes. There's the phase shift onto Conflicted here in top. Ron now in a bit of danger, caught on the other side of their friendly horse wall. Rock Your World in chat mentioning a little bit of lore back from week 2 that Roll1 picked map for Dragonshire. The fact that you remember it, I'm impressed. So good on you. That was weeks and weeks ago. But back to the game 2, we've got Roll1 starting up their Bruiser camp. They are pretty close to a turn-in with 44 gems total. Psistorm probes have done a great job getting these micro turn-ins, already having banked 28. Stormsword likely to get another 14 here in bot lane. Up to 42 turned in. And this camp in mid is going to give a little bit of breathing room for Roll1 to turn in. Mongoose has the last few required. Stormsword get theirs turned in, and Rook gets the interrupts for, oh my gosh, lots of damage onto Velira. Ron has been right on time with these phase shifts, however. Some excellent play from the Brightwing. Zad dug up for that attempted turn install. I don't think anyone, yeah, no one on Psistorm probes is holding enough on their own to get the turn in. Rock Your World still has the slide. They'll get over the wall thanks to their level 4 Crowd Surfer. Just 2 more gems required. Stormsword is able to dodge that drag from Zad. So both teams up to 48 gems banked here with their level 7s online. Anything out of the ordinary here? ferocity. I think that makes sense. Nothing too strange. Up to 5 stacks of You Want Axe now. And no one scouted Poe getting the turn in on the top side, so Roll1Esports able to secure first objective. Zad had a lot of pressure applied to them from Stormsword and Ron, but they're able to burrow to safety. So we'll see how much siege damage Roll1 are able to get out of their first objective. Conflicted brings a lot of wave clear, and Psistorm Probes did a great job prepping mid and top waves. Rock doing a great job to zone this rotation in from top lane, creating auto attacks with a great force wall, but this is where Crowdsurfer makes its money. Rock Your World able to get through and not face the wrath of Zul'jin. And both teams neck and neck on experience. So a great push in mid lane will net half of the fort in the first objective phase. I think you have to be pretty happy with that if you're Roll1. And they've been able to keep the Zul'jin from getting overly stacked, only up to 7 stacks of You Want Axe, equating to about 35 counts of auto attacks, which is probably fewer auto attacks because of their level 1 recklessness and yada yada yada. Of course, this is where it's a little trickier for Roll1Esports to avoid stacking up Zul'jin. They have to interrupt these turn-ins. On the bot side, Stormsword might be able to push out before Zad. And there's the first quest complete for Roll1, Mana Addict, unlocking the Arcane Barrier just as Psistorm Probes unlocks their first objective phase. Heroics on both sides. Nothing too surprising. We've got Ball Lightning. Oh! Opting for Pyroblast at level 10 for the Kael'thas. We've also got Mosh Pit, Isolation, Massive Shove. And then on the other side, Tustingo, Blessed Shield, Black Hole, Bunker Drop, and Link Heal. So a quick, easy cleanup of mid lane there means not much structure damage sustained on the side of Roll1Esports. And their wave clear is very strong with Poe and Mongoose. They're able to clean up top wave without too much trouble either. So a little bit of chip damage on both mid and top, but certainly less out of that objective phase than Roll1 were able to net in that first turn-in of theirs. Both teams, once again, available for turn-in. Zad holding on to 25 of the gems. They're ahead on the rotation of, oh, that blind narrowly missing Rock. So they're able to get their gems in. Psistorm Probes get their mid-camp out, so that could buy the room that they need to get these turn-ins here in mid. Zad forgoing stalling turn-ins and opting instead for the siege camp grab means Stormsword was able to get their gems in at the bot pay station without any trouble. And once again, Psistorm Probes have done a fantastic job prepping their waves in advance of their objective. Web Weavers lose health the second they start, or the second they spawn, they start losing HP slowly over time. So getting your Web Weaver spawned as far forward as possible is always to your benefit if you are the team turning in. Far less distance to cover where it's just losing HP. Another 4-hero commitment from Psistorm Probes to the top side, and very diligent, disciplined play from both of our tanks, Rook and Rock, both holding on to their heroics. I think That stun onto Rook. Oh my gosh, there's the polymorph. Lots of damage going on to Rock Your World, as well as the black hole from Conflicted. On the bot side, Storm Sword able to finish off the fort. Mongoose in a lot of trouble here. Pops the ball lightning, and they're going to be able to kite to safety. Zad gets the dig in. They had to Hearth after taking a fair bit of damage from Storm Sword. And they're up to level 13 on both sides now, so even talent tiers. Oh, I missed the kill. I heard a Pyroblast go off, though, so Johanna will fall. A lot of damage onto Storm Sword here. Mongoose trying to body block the rotation. Rock Your World makes it out with sub 100 HP. Fantastic mosh pit, but unfortunately this Blaze is a little too survivable. And that'll buy the room that Roll1 needs to get their next turn in. I say that, but Mongoose got interrupted. Zad able to turn theirs in on the bot side. They're still holding on to 37 gems. So that would be a big takedown for the probes to secure. Looks like they are instead opting for the 5v4 here on the top side. Rock Your World able to scoot to safety through the wall once again thanks to their level 4 Crowd Surfer. It's also cooldown reduction for the power slide, so it's both safety and a higher uptime threat on ETC's engagement. So mid-fort will go down here. Rock Your World opting for mic check at level 13 rather than the a little more commonly seen Echo Pedal. I'm a big fan of mic check, personally. Oh, Rock Your World slid over the terrain, which means they don't have the slide available for the Force Wall, and that's going to be a takedown. First takedown, in fact, for Psistorm probes. On the bot side, Zad was able to clean up fort. They're continuing to duke it out with Storm Sword, but on the top side, Psistorm probes are taking this boss. There's the dig in from Zad. They're immediately onto Valera. A huge kill onto the Brightwing, and that's going to set up for a boss steal. 4v4. An excellent dig from Zad, and Wanaba was there with the silence to interrupt the phase shift. Fantastic play from Roll1 to line that up there. Of course, that also means that Psistorm probes do not have enough gems for their next Webweaver phase. Roll1Esports, rather than going for the turn-in boss combo, they look content just to push vanilla with the boss a bit. Rock, once again, caught with their power slide on cooldown for a bit, but in the end, that cooldown reduction that they get from their level 4 was able to save them. And there's the completion on Prog Rock for Rock Your World. ETC now can heal a little bit, so that's fun. Zad does have the Brush Stalker available. There is a Spooky Bush behind Psistorm probes, but it looks like the Party Bush is instead here in mid lane. Level 16s on both sides. Rook continuing to be diligent in these vision checks. Polymorph onto Poe, they'll pop the Arcane Barrier and scoot out to safety. And not too much success, or not too much pushing out of this objective phase for Roll1. The waves, once again, really well prepped by Psistorm probes. So Roll1 unable to do any meaningful structure damage thus far. Heroics available on both sides. Here's the potential engage from Johanna. Lots of damage going on to Poe and Mongoose there. Zad a little far out from the rest of the team, but Rock Your World able to ward that rotation, so they're going to make it out to safety. All of the outer structures now down for Psistorm probes. The upside, of course, is that they now have the gems they need for the next Webweaver phase. Zad is going to take care of the bot siege camp while probes get out their bruiser camp. And that'll be the next... Oh, where is Zad going? Straight to the Hall of Storms. Rock able to pick up their gems, but now they're going to have to run for their life. I don't think they're going to make it, and that's going to be a 25 gem denial. Not sure how Zad got caught out there, but it was a tough time to lose 2 members for Roll1Esports. This could be a big push on the side of Psistorm probes now that they've got a 5-on-3 power play. Likely top and mid fort will go down. We might even see top keep start to take some damage, depending on how they split up their resources. And they're very close to the Storm talent tier as well, making up for their slow early game passive experience loss with hero kills and minion experience. So there's still a Spell Armor aura here in mid, which is giving our red team a little bit of trouble. Rock Your World now respawning, so we can have a 5-hero response to the top lane. Storm Talent's just around the corner for Psistorm probes, and there they are. Redrook opting for Radiating Faith at level 20 once again. Force Barrier for Conflicted. Reinforced Bunker. And there's the CC right onto Poe, but they're able to make it out alive. Valera able to survive the Silence Puddle from Wanaba. And so Roll1, after surviving that Blessed Shield, make it to the Storm Talent tier as well. We've got Blink for ETC, Apex Predator for Zad on the Dahaka. One Good Spread, nope, that's not what it's called. Top Off? Top Off for Wanaba. The Flame Strike range for Poe is called Flamethrower, and Ball Lightning, Infinite Lightning. Nice. Oh, Poe caught by the Blaze Charge. An immediate interrupt onto the Mosh Pit. Unkillable popped for the Taz Dingo. Conflicted in a rough spot. I don't think they've got their level 13 available. They're able to make it to the bunker. Wanaba now going down. Rock Your World can't zone for the healer, so both Stukov and Kel'Thas falling there. This is going to give back-to-back turn-in opportunity to Psistorm probes, and they're going to be able to push in top lane. They're definitely going to take down top keep, but if they're lucky, they might even be able to push to core here and bring us to a game 3. Looks like Psistorm probes are going to push in mid rather than top. It was the lane they were closer to, and they don't necessarily need the objective damage with Valera on their side. A great blind from Mongoose and a fend in with the level 16. At 35 stacks, it's not a lot of damage on the Qs. There's the Pyroblast, immediately dodged by the bunker. Valera does not have their Taz Dingo up yet, and the focus on mid means they'll get the ETC kill and the keep, but they have yet to apply any pressure to the core yet. With Valera having picked up, or having waited for their heroic, once again, especially with the level 20 upgrade, they can start auto-attacking with impunity here. Storm Sword will go down, Poe falling to Redrook, and we still have Tostingo available. They pop it after walking into the core defenses, and the core is taking damage from catapults down below 90% here. With only 2 heroes to defend, I don't think Roll1 are going to be able to do it, especially with Ball Lightning off cooldown, or on cooldown for the next 30 or so seconds. Mongoose will fall, core down below 10%, and that'll do it for game 2. GG and well played to Psistorm Probes. A tense one, definitely, but some late game miscues from Roll1Esports and great tank play from Red Rook and Storm Sword were able to seal the deal in that second game. We can take a look at our post-game builds and stats. What do we got? Nothing out of the ordinary there. I didn't see too many big procs of Juggernaut plating for Storm Sword at level 16, but into Kael'thas and Q-Build Cassia, I definitely think it makes a lot of sense to pick up. We also have Universal Carrier at 16 for Wanaba. Sometimes you'll see Stukovs opt for Super Strain, but with so few stuns on the side of Psistorm Probes, I think teching out of that pick makes a lot of sense. Our post-game stats. Hey! Top damage Johanna. Well done, Red Rook. She's a balanced hero. We promise. We promise she's balanced. Blaze and Dahaka, both top experience contribution for their teams, and a very low takedown game, only 9-3 in the takedowns there. So disciplined, not quite as long, not a 32-minute game, but a nail-biter of a 20-minute game, very close. And we're going to a game of 3. Very exciting. Let's head back to our Battleground selection here, and I can get the next game queued up. RavenX in chat mentioning that the Web Weavers losing health is a bit of knowledge that they've picked up from the stream. So we're learning. We're all learning. It's fantastic. I did not know that it was a flat non-scaling 100 health per second. So thank you for that, Raven. That's interesting. It means all the more reason that late game objectives are so much more powerful on Tomb of the Spider Queen. Okie dokie. So that was a win from Psistorm Probes. So we're 1-1. And for game 3, nice. We are headed to Infernal Shrines. Most popular map to be played in NGS. Some folks really don't like it for that very reason. I think it's a good map. It's fun. No reason to hate on it, I don't think. Everyone's got to like it for a reason, right? Like, it's good. So we'll see which team has it in the end, who's able to clutch up here and secure the series. Let's get into game 3. Introducing our teams for the last time. Here on the left in blue, we've got Psistorm Probes, Valeera on Junkrat, Red Rook on Johanna, Conflicted playing Tychus, Storm Sword on Blaze, and Ron playing Brightwing. And to the right in red, we've got Roll1Esports, Rock Your World on Varian, Zad playing Sonya, Wanaba on Stukov, Poe on Kael'thas, and Mongoose playing Nova. Checking in on our level 1 talents. Anything out of the ordinary? Nothing surprising. Extra round timers for the Junkrat, Zealous Glare, another slam build from Zad on the Sonya, low blow for Stukov. I know some Varians like Lion's Maw at level 1 for main tank Varian. Rock Your World opting for Overpower instead, offering the highest burst damage opportunity for the Varian. with multiple procs of their level 1 heroic strike. An interesting split on the lanes with Zad going to bot lane. It's a 4-hero rotation up to top. Ron able to get the phase shift onto Storm Sword, so the early game gank gambit does not pay off for Roll1Esports. One of the many reasons that Right Wing is a powerful hero. Of course, I don't think they've got their... Oh, yeah, I don't think they've got their global up again. So if that bot camp had been scouted by Roll1, they might have had a chance to steal it away. Of course, Varian's still very weak pre their heroic talent tier at level 4. Ron and Stormsword continuing to get a fair bit of siege damage here with Zad stuck behind their gate. Great polymorph to interrupt the healing on Sonya's Whirlwind. So a slight experience advantage going over to Roll1Esports here. Level 4 almost online. There's another phase shift from Ron. Stormsword very low on mana here. And that's level 4 unlocked, so Varian has his heroic. He's a real boy all the way from melee minion to main tank. A true hero's journey. Level 4 also unlocking Chattering Teeth for Valera on the Junkrat. We are likely to see that paired with the rest of the craft talents. On this battleground, it's probably going to be Big As. Is that a level 7? Is that a level 13? I don't remember. It's the one that makes Junkrat traps ignore everything but heroes, which is pretty important for getting value out of that ability when fighting over objectives. First objective spawning in the top lane, it is a Mortar Punisher. Roll1Esports got their Bruiser camp out in a timely fashion, and so they're going to be able to immediately start capturing Shrine Defenders. A quick 12 in their pockets. I like what we've got Psistorm Probes doing. There's the phase shift in onto Storm Sword. Ron falling very low now, and they won't survive even with the spell shield. Immediate collapse from the Varian, and that is the pick potential that the Varian Stukov combo bring. Throw a Nova Snipe on top of that, and a quick gravity lapse from Poe. So first blood of the game, we are likely to see plenty more of those takedowns just like that. We're still neck and neck in experience thanks to that extra wave that Ron was able to get in mid lane. Hero takedown experience still less than a minion wave's worth of experience at level 6. Anyway. So a pretty solid defense here for Roll1. Mortar Punisher, not the most impactful early game Punisher. Mongoose puts a little bit of pressure on Storm Sword there in the off lane. Absolutely overwhelming wave clear on the side of Psistorm Probes with Melting Point, Johanna. Oh, there's the silence under Rock. Or, I'm sorry, under Red Rook, and Rock Your World able to clean up another kill for the red team. The phase shift from Ron just a little too slow. Up top, they end up getting the kill onto Zad. Valera trying to slow down the mercenary capture with that boop. And that's going to be a big experience denial, as well as a fair bit of siege damage onto this top fort here. So a little bit of a misplay from Zad ends up costing Roll1 more structure damage than their objective netted. Of course, Storm Sword stayed around a little too long. And Wanaba able to clean it up with the long-range low blow. Lurking Arm build, a absolute menace. And Wanaba looking very confident on the build. The heavy rotation to top lane mean that Roll1 are going to finish off this fort. But I like what we see out of Psistorm probes. They've been doing a fantastic job all series, trading value when they need to. And this fort that they're sieging up on is an important one for the next objective phase. Spawning here in bot lane, it's an Arcane Punisher. So if they're able to finish off this building, they'll have a sizable advantage with their taps available to them. Rock Your World able to threaten Valera there. We've got heroics on both sides. There's the leap from Zad. It does not connect. What else do we have? We've got Warbringer for Varian, Flailing Swipes, Pyroblast, Precision Strike, Bunker, Blink Heal. See if we connect with the Blessed Shield anymore. Zad, there's the Blessed Shield over the wall, followed up by a Polymorph. Rock Your World able to get the taunt onto Conflicted, but it's not going to be enough to save Zad, so Sonya will fall. Red Rook commanding space so well on the Johanna. I'm surprised they've been able to secure that pick in all 3 drafts. It's both a strong meta hero and looking very competent and scary in the hands of Red Rook. So that takedown right before the objective is going to give Psistorm probes a lot of time for free on this shrine. They've also got a lot of vision through that stolen siege camp in mid. The far flank is scouted out. Red Rook immediately loses their trait shield. Ron using the phase shift a little early. It offers a lot of vision. Storm Sword in a tough spot here. They do still have the bunker. There's the leap in from Zad. Ron, the target of the Pyroblast. They don't have... Yeah, they ran too far away from the bunker. Unlucky. They'll be back faster than a normal healer might, thanks to their global. But it does mean that Psistorm probes aren't going to have much of an opportunity to push with their objective. Rook looking for the dismount, finds it onto Zad. And knowing that they're weak without their Brightwing, Psistorm probes are going to opt instead to siege up on the mid fort. I like this rotation from them, mitigating the loss of momentum that no healer brings. Objective gets cleaned up here in bot lane, and there's the rotation in from Rock Your World and Mongoose. They're going to get interrupted thanks to the chattering teeth of Junkrat. Sticky would get at level 7, meaning that traps are also silencing. A slight experience lead, and therefore a talent tier lead on the side of Psistorm probes. Neo Steel coating from Conflicted, a big power spike, especially into a heroic like Pyroblast. There's all the damage and the silence. Oh, the stun. Ron phase shifts in just to die. Lots and lots of damage behind all of that CC. Really well played from Roll1 there. Unfortunately for Psistorm probes, they were unable to clean up this mid fort. I'm sure they would have loved to finish that off before this next objective phase here in mid. It's going to be a Frozen Punisher, so it's a pretty scary Punisher to have to deal with, giving teams opportunities to siege when they wouldn't otherwise after the structures are shut down. Psistorm probes have some amount of poke, but not that much. We saw the shield breaker there from Rock Your World. So Johanna unable to walk away scot-free with her trait now that that's online for the King of Stormwind. And I think Psistorm probes are doing a fantastic job. Under the fort, is that going to be enough? A great cleanse from Ron, and now they're deep under a structure. Rock Your World cut off from their rotation to safety. It's Poe who will fall first, in fact. Stormsword in a lot of trouble themselves, but they're able to get it out alive. Wanaba caught all the way over here with Conflicted. It's a fight on many fronts, but I don't think Stukov can kill an Odin. Checking in here, Redrook gets the Blessed Shield onto a couple. A taunt will trade a kill onto Stormsword, but that was a deep, deep plunge for Roll1 to take under that bottom fort. Psistorm probes collapsed perfectly, and so they end up trading 2 for 1 and taking another lead towards the next talent tier. Redrook controlling the vision here of this bot lane, pushing out the minion wave, making sure that Darian does not have a free way to sneak up on the teammates. And we're neck and neck on skeletal defenders, surprisingly enough. A slight lead now for Psistorm probes. And the level 16 talent tier advantage. There's the leap following up the taunt. Johanna instantly destroyed. Roll1 still pushed out off the objective a little bit here, and there's Conflicted Odin. We'll see if that's enough to finish off the skeletal defenders. A narrow lead here for Roll1. Looks like they're going to secure this next objective. A big slow onto Stormsword there. And the Frozen Punisher is claimed by the red team. Talent tier advantages don't matter if the engagement of the weaker team is crisp enough. Roll1Esports showing us just how powerful the taunt into leap with a lurking arm underneath it truly can be. Mongoose and Poe also always holding their cooldowns for these engagements. It's working like clockwork for Roll1. A great bait over the keep wall, and we're still neck and neck on experience, surprisingly enough. So, in spite of all of those takedowns, 8-5 the takedown count in favor of Roll1. All of the minion experience that Ron has been picking up on the off lane has been adding up. Stormsword also doing a great job picking up experience, about 2,000 experience ahead of his opponent offlaner. I don't know Stormsword's pronouns, so I'm gonna go with there. This is not the level of siege damage I would have expected out of KT Nova comp, but they're able to rip through that bot fort wall pretty quickly. Next objective has been announced in top lane. It is a Mortar Punisher. And it's a big wave behind this camp. There's the Precision Strike to take care of the Archer minions. We'll see if Mongoose is able to finish cleaning up the camp. Oh, I did not think that the dogs would aggro the clones. Today I learned. Of course, my fascination with a mercenary camp means we miss Rock Your World getting caught out by all 5 of Psistorm probes. It's a tough time for your team to be on the losing end of a power play, and it's going to give Psistorm probes the opportunity to finish cleaning up this top structure. So all the outer structures for Roll1Esports are off the board. The stolen Bruiser Camp and the Odin are going to generate a lot of siege pressure onto this top keep as well. Getting this wall down is a big boon for the next objective phase. We see another macro-focused precision strike. Bot wave is in favor of Roll1Esports. So Botfort's going to take a fair bit of damage here, but it's unlikely to fall with their friendly minion wave arriving just in time. And now it's just the hunt for storm talents. We're just around the corner for Psistorm probes. We can see a lot of pings going off on the minimap up here. So Roll1 setting up a party bush once again, trying to catch Psistorm probes unawares. I will say probes have been doing a fantastic job checking bushes, so I don't know if it's going to bear fruit. Oh, Conflicted face checks the bush, immediately taunted and falls. Nobody checked the bush. Oh, what a bummer. I mean, not if you're on the side of Roll1. You're thrilled by these takedowns. Storm Sword will have the Pyroblast going after them. They walk right in with the Juggernaut plating. Look at that big old meaty shield. Fantastic. Rook dismounted by Mongoose here. The objective is available for contest, but neither team interested in heading that direction. Looks like Roll1 far more interested to get the guaranteed siege damage they have here. There's the taunt onto Ron, immediately blows up. Holy cannoli, that was a very dead Brightwing. And that'll secure mid-keep. Still 15 seconds until Conflicted is back on the Tychus. And I love this rotation from Roll1. With the power play falling back to the objective with all of their heroes would have been a very passive maneuver. I love to see them put pressure on the structure, and their being there, of course, forces Psistorm probes to respond, and that response is what netted them yet another takedown. Valera popping the burst fire here. Storm talents unlocked for Psistorm probes now. We've got cannonballs, radiating faith, big red button, fortified bunker, and invisible friends. Very cool. Double camp in mid will alleviate the offset catapult pressure for Psistorm probes, but this Mortar Punisher is their main concern here. They don't have a mid keep to bait John Cena down to, so this could be the end of the line for Roll1, or I'm sorry, for Psistorm probes. Red Rook able to bait the first jump with their trait, and they get John Cena onto the core past the keep. They're doing a great job taking out this keep, and it looks like Roll1 are just going to back off here. They do not want to take the 5v5 under the core of Psistorm probes. I think sticking around for one more John Cena jump might have been worth their while, but playing it safe. Going back to clean up mid, we've got Zad on bot taking care of the neutral siege camp as well. So Psistorm probes down by 2 keeps here. It's a tricky spot to be stuck in. Red Rook finds 2. There's the phase shift, but it's not going to be in time. Red Rook a little too far ahead of the team there. They were able to find Mongoose, but there was no damage follow-up, unfortunately. And that over-eager engagement might cost the game, depending on how Roll1 want to play it. Zad wants a camp, I guess. Kind of a weird time to grab a camp, but fair enough. With one takedown, I would have expected to see Roll1 start pressuring the core. They still have their kill combo up between the Varian CC and Kael'thas CC. Next objective, spawning in bot lane. It's an Arcane Punisher. It's a huge boon for the side of Psistorm probes, frankly. If that objective were in a lane that were missing a keep, it would almost be certain doom. And they weather the 4v5. Redrook back on the battlefield. They're going to clean up these 3 catapults while Roll1 get a little bit more siege damage here on the bot keep. Front wall of the bot keep, anyway. It's at this point in the game where you've got to be thrilled to have a global. Ron able to take care of catapults off in far lanes as the next objective is announced in bot lane, so that top catapult pressure won't be too serious for them. Of course, with how quickly the blow-up has been coming from Roll1Esports, waiting for your Brightwing to phase shift in might be too late, in fact. And Rock has gotten into the bush. Mongoose may be scouted by Redrook here. Do they have the wherewithal to flashlight these bushes? Or are we going to get another face check moment here? Redrook playing so disciplined here on this flank. There's the dismount onto Rock Your World. Taunt, everything going onto the Blaze. The phase shift isn't in time. Johanna finishes off Subdue, so that's fun. And lots of damage going onto Poe. Valeera receives 55 spell armor, so they'll be fine, just fine. A great takedown to net on the side of Roll1Esports. This objective might be do or die, but without Blessed Shield or Riptire, there aren't a lot of tools at Psistorm Probe's disposal to take care of these takedowns. Valeera and Redrook setting up for the potential backdoor here. All of Roll1Esports continue to show on the objective vision. The Punisher secure is the green light that Psistorm Probes wanted. They're going to take out this top keep and immediately back. Valeera didn't get the back in time, and they're not Ripper Air at 13, so they are not going to be able to escape for too long here. Redrook is going to have to save their bacon. A phase shift from Ron makes them the target next. They've got the spell shield, but that'll finish it off. All the while, Zad and John Cena working on this bot keep. Stormsword, not the best hero for clearing a Punisher solo. Valeera makes it into a bush for the Hearthstone, but John Cena's already connected with the core, and it's taking a lot of damage with the rest of Roll1Esports coming in for the photo finish, and that'll do it for Game 3 of the series. A real nail-biter, but in the end going in favor of Roll1. GG, well played. So an absolute marathon of a series there. In the end, Roll1Esports looked very polished on that varying composition, and that made all the difference. I have to think if there were a couple more moments of bush checking and dismounting, that with how knife's edge Game 3 was, it very well could have gone in favor of Psistorm Probes. They played phenomenally in this series. Conflicted Antykis top damage for his team with Mongoose on the Nova. Top damage overall, very interesting. I'm not sure if that's typical for a Nova team. I don't know anything about Nova drafts, to be honest, dear viewers. Checking in on our builds. Anything out of the ordinary? What is the Nova build? Anti-armor shells, sure, that's more burst damage. Rapid rejection, sure. Because that means you get more decoys which can interrupt blaze charges, I guess. Double tap. Pinning shot has 2 charges. That's useful. Pinning shot lowers a hero's armor. So doubling up on the armor shred between anti-armor shells and crippling shot. Very interesting. Other than that, we've got Slam build from Zad again. Lurking Arm build from Wanaba. Nothing too confusing out of the builds. What a series. I am glad that I ended up picking this one up. I have been remiss in my casting duties, having never cast Roll1 despite their long-time participation in the league. So I'm glad to finally get that one off the bucket list. Especially in one where they were able to clinch up the victory. Let's just for fun go back to the battleground selection here. Oop, nope, that's not what I want. What did I want? Oh gosh. Give me a second, friends. Oh no. What have I done? Where do we go here? Alright, give me 1 second. I'll be right back, right back. Okie dokie. That should help. We were looking at the post-game stats, and then we were at the post-series. So, really strong showing from both teams. Not surprising that this series went so close, given that they are currently 5th and 6th in the standings, only separated by 1 point. An absolute slobber knocker. A 30-plus minute Dragonshire for game 1. Really well played. And that'll do it here for me for this first series. I'll be back for a second one. Hopefully my voice doesn't give out before I'm done with that. And I'll just do a quick sign off here just so that I can have it nice and clean for the YouTube VOD when it gets there. But if you are interested in watching the next series, stick around. In the meantime, I want to give a huge shout out to everyone who tuned in, all of the volunteer staff of NGS, and of course the artists, programmers, and musicians whose work I feature here on the stream. It wouldn't look or sound anywhere near as good without their contributions, and you can find links to all of their work below the video, as well as in a credit roll coming up here in a few seconds. Check out their work. They're very talented, and all of their stuff is Creative Commons licensed, so it could be in your next project as well. So maybe catch you around for the next series, find friends, and if not, until next time, good luck and have fun. Peace and love.